Hello everyone, welcome to another haul vid. Now I've been to some boot sales this week, and I was saying boot sales rather than boot fairs because SMS number one, I'm a little bit worried that your head will explode like in Scanners. So for this week and just for you, I should call them boot sales. Now I went to three, and to be quite honest though, they were quite busy and the weather was okay. It was a bit pants. There was the usual dross of, I don't know, sort of like deluxe bumblebees, Cyberverse ratchets, which are all common as dog muck. The usual obligatory first movie Cyberverse Megatron with bits missing because he falls to bits so easy. But yeah, pretty much a load of old tat really. Picked up a couple of little bits. I got a couple of Attackix figures, got Overhaul, missing his weapon, well, the missile part, but I can live with that. I can always pick them up, they're quite easy to find the parts. Skyblast, who's got a little sprung loaded weapon, and that just pops forward, so that's quite a little bit fun. Again, nice little figure. And Dirt Boss, who again is missing his missile, and his weapon sort of hides over his back, like so. Yeah, not bad little finds. I mean, all three of those, and actually a Star Wars crossover weapon for the Luke Skywalker Snow Speeder. We got one of the weapons off that, what was just mixed up with all this sort of stuff. I picked all them up, and they were 50p the lot, so I got them just for a bit of a laugh really. The next thing I picked up was a, I'm trying to think, Revenge of the Fallen figure. Now I'm not going to show you it because I got it with the intention of giving it to somebody who sent me stuff, but it is missing one piece. Now what I'm going to do is try and find that piece, so I'm not going to show you what I got because it will spoil the surprise for whoever's going to get it. And if I could get another one who's, I mean, if I find another one that's a bit beaten up and I can do a repair job, which is quite a simple job, this figure's going to go to somebody else. So as I say, I can't show you it, but it's only one little niggly bit, so hopefully I'll be able to sort that out for them, and they'll get one of the more unusual Revenge of the Fallen toys, as I say, in not deluxe size, in Voyager size. I'll get it right in a second. As to bits for me, I picked up one other part, excuse me, one other toy, and my fiance actually sort of was walking around with me and she actually spotted it, and it's Creo Optimus Prime, who's modelled on the G1 Prime, not the sort of movie long nose cab sort of truck Prime. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, to be fair, this was mint sealed in box, so I mean I've opened it and made the figure, so I mean it was bargain because it was only 50p, and these, even brand new where they're on sale at the minute, they still £5 to sort of buy in the shops, so it was a good deal. But I'm not the biggest fan of Creo. I mean, basically it's Lego, what Hasbro sort of ripped off, by just sort of doing my moulding difference on each of the bits. I suppose they've sort of got away with the copyright, God knows how. Yeah, it's okay, but the problem I've got with Creo is the fact that it's a Transformers line. They don't transform. You've got to take them apart to build the other modes, so it don't sort of work really. I mean, I'm from a generation where we had Action Masters, which were Transformers who were just action figures, and they were bad enough. But to have a line of a toy line, which this day and age, you know, the figures are really well articulated, they've got plenty of joints and that, could they not have made Creo that it can actually transform? I don't know. It's a little bit of a nitpick. One thing I also did as well, I made the figure up, I put his smokestacks there where they're supposed to be, not on his back like in the movie. But that's just my little, again, my little niggle at it. The real problem I've got with it as well, and this is something I don't know if anyone else has come across it, where you've got to change it from one mode to the other, and where you get a double sort of axle part, for the wheels. I mean, that one stays together and just fixes back on. But where you do the legs, you've got to change it from a double to a single axle part. And it's quite difficult to get those wheels back off. They're really well snapped on. Now, whether they wear off and it's a bit easier taking them on and off in time, maybe. But to be fair, where I was doing it, I was thinking these are going to snap any second, because it just really took a hell of a tug to get them back off. And I could well imagine, especially if a kid was doing it, then wiggling it and snap, and that's the toy ruined really, because you can't put the wheels on effectively. So yeah, a little bit of a niggle with that. It was quite fun putting the stickers on there. It takes me back to G1. It's always fun doing that. But yeah, I'm not mad on it. I mean, I'll keep it because for 50p, you know, can't really argue with it. But yeah, it's not really a line of Transformers that I'm going to chase after. I know some people like the little tiny figures. You know, fair enough. There's not a lot of harm you can really do with them, so fair enough. But yeah, I'm not saying I'm going to rush out and buy. That was about it really. Like I say, there was the usual rubbish knocking around, but not really a great deal Transformer wise. I did go to a shop today, which is almost like a little second-hand toy shop, and again, it's not Transformer related, but I know some of the other guys I talk to and I watch their vids don't do just Transformer stuff. Now, especially Action Jackman, his real name's Luke, he is very much into a variety of toys, and to be fair, I am, and I do watch stuff on other things as well as Transformers, but as a reviewer and a collector, I'm more showing you my Transformer stuff. But of course, due to my age, I was into Star Wars, and sort of between well, Star Wars is still going, but Star Wars and Transformers was Action Force. Now, Action Force was our equivalent in the UK of G.I. Joe before G.I. Joe actually sort of took over in this country, and it did actually come in as G.I. Joe, and you got the crossovers in the Marvel G1 comic. But originally it was modelled along the lines of like the Action Man figure line and 12-inch figures, but obviously in the 3 3/4 inch figure line. And you know, this sort of thing I've picked up is from 1981, so it predates Transformers, you know, probably into their Diaclone years. And it's a really nice little thing, and it cost me next to nothing. I went into this little shop, and like I say, they sort of pick up all kinds of odds and ends. You can get your Master of the Universe stuff and all kinds of figures and bits and bobs, little bits of Star Wars and stuff like that, but no real rare necessarily bits as such. But yeah, I came across, and it was sitting on a shelf all on its own, a little space sled. Now it's got the figure, it's got his, I mean, it's not quite the correct gun, because I think that Uzi there is supposed to be in blue, but I can live with it. It is the proper Action Force weapon. It's got the right figure, one of the missiles, and it would have had 2 of those originally, and it would have had a little aerial out the top, and almost like a, I don't know if it was clear blue or at least blue, similar to what's on the figure, a weapon, what he'd hold, and it had like a lead going around and plugged into his back. So there's a couple of little bits missing, but nothing major. And I picked up this little sort of space sled, because this was Space Force back in those days, and it's lovely. The stickers are in fantastic nick. There's a couple of little ropey ones here and there, but I mean, this is, you know, 81. What's that? That's well, I'm not going to do that now, because simply my brain's in sort of like meltdown at the minute, because I've tried doing this video about 5 times and been interrupted. But let's just say it's getting on for what, 30 years old, something like that. 30, 31, something like that anyway. But yeah, I mean, stickers are great. Lovely little figure in there as well, which is the correct figure for the vehicle. £1.50 I got that for, and I think it's fantastic. There's the logo as well. That's the Action Force logo rather than G.I. Joe, and that's just great. I mean, in some respects, I'd pick these up if they were at the boot fairs, but to be honest, I don't even see these. And yeah, what a great little find. And again, it's one of these sort of niche little shops which just now and again you'll find a little gem in. And you know, I have said to them that I'm into Transformers as well, and you know, they've got my number now, let's put it that way, in case they have anything interesting come in. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, this is made up for the weekend, because the weekend has been a bit pants, as you can see. And yeah, I'm quite chuffed about that. Like I say, I have got other Action Force stuff. I've got the SAS Jeep and the missile launcher and the base, it's cardboard, and the big Z-Force, I'm trying to think, troop transport you class it as, mobile base sort of thing. And you know, that's all tucked away with the Star Wars stuff and with the Transformers. And one day I will get to actually show all this sort of stuff off to you in a proper display. But I need to move first. But yeah, so that's my haul. That's my haul for this week. I have seen other figures out in the shops. I did tip off waspshot 23 about some Fall of Cybertron line figures which had just come in our Smith's toy shop, which he did rush out and get himself a Shockwave, if you've seen his film, which I'm glad. You know, I helped find somebody what they were after. I did see some of the figures he was also talking about. There was some of the new, I think it's Wave 3 Cyberverse figures. I've seen Flame War. I think he got the new Ratchet one. But yeah, I saw Flame War, which is a recolour of RC from that line in the Cyberverse figures. Yeah, some nice little ones. I saw Dreadwind and the normal Starscream. I'm trying to think. Nothing really else major than that. There's that new sort of Optimus Prime thing where the little Cyberverse commander can sit in it and the Cyberverse figures can ride in it, almost like a little battle vehicle. I've seen that as well, but it's a bit pants. Otherwise I might have actually thought about picking it up. Yeah, so I haven't picked any of the bits up, mainly because in the next few weeks it's going to be my birthday. Now this isn't, I'm not mentioning it because I want anything before anyone thinks, oh, send something. I'm not saying it for anything like that, but I've been looking around and I've been dragging my poor other half around with me, looking at all the Transformer bits and sort of like giving her the nod, like quite like that, you know, hint hint. So even though boot fair season is coming to the end in the next sort of month or so, I said the word, didn't I? Boot sale, sorry Dave. Although it's coming to the end soon, yeah, I might still have some new bits to review, because if my other half buys me any bits, you know, I might well have something to show you. So that's about it, really. I mean, don't worry, I've still got plenty of G1 and stuff like that to show as well. I mean, my collection, it gets bigger and bigger, and I still haven't really scratched it, because even when I keep buying stuff from boot fairs, boot sales, if they're new or sort of in reasonably good nick, they're more or less complete, I can do a review on them. Ones where there's bits missing, I'll tend to wait until I can sort of sort them out and get them complete before I do a review on them. But yeah, that's about it. Now the last part of this little vid, I just wanted to give a shout out to a couple of people. Now the first one is a guy called Matt, and he goes by the YouTube name Trans7272. So it's TRANZ 7272. Now he's an American guy who's been doing reviews for a little while. Well, a little while that I've sort of come across him. He does other things as well as Transformers. He struggles a little bit with space to actually do the reviews, to be fair. That's really his main sort of bugbear, where he's trying to sort himself out a bit more room to manoeuvre effectively when he's filming the figure. he's asked me some sort of advice and bits and bobs on how to do it, and to be fair, I don't know why he asked me, because quite frankly I don't exactly get huge views, but you know, anything I can do to help someone else is, you know, it's all part and parcel of the community on YouTube, really. But yeah, he's a really nice guy, and he has got pretty much the same situation as me, where most of his collection is sort of like hidden away and packed up, so he's got to dig out stuff to review. But apparently, from what he said, he's got a fair G1 collection, so you know, he should have some interesting bits and bobs coming up in his reviews, so feel free to check him out. And I did say to him that I would give him a shout out, because, you know, try and help people out. It's not just all about yourself on doing these things. And another guy, and I hadn't actually said I was going to give him a shout out, but Wolfgang actually gave him a little bit of a shout out the other day. Is onlynorris is his YouTube tag. I don't know if I know his actual real first name. I can't remember offhand, but he does a little bit of sort of tongue-in-cheek reviews, and he is a nice guy. I think he lives a couple of towns up the coast from me, and he's done a little bit of bootsaling to pick up odd figures, and again he picks up random stuff, not just Transformers, Master Universe, stuff like that as well. So yeah, again, check him out, sub to him if you're interested, you know, in what they're doing. I just like to try and help other people out as well on here. Anyway, that's about it. I wish it was longer, because that would have meant I'd picked up some more interesting bits, but yeah, unfortunately everyone's hanging on to their toys at the minute. Don't like it. But yeah, I'll probably be back next. I might get out a review or two this week. I've got one in mind. I've got a G1 Target Master in mind to put up, but as with my reviews, you never know what you're going to get, because it depends what I come across and what the mood takes me with, really, what I review. So stay tuned. Anyway, feel free to comment and subscribe if you've only just found me, and feel free to subscribe to the other guys as well, and I shall see you again for another review, and thanks for watching.